The season is over. We have our 1 seeds, we have our 7 seeds, and we have everything in between. We have a new sack record, and we have a record that no team may ever beat. Let's get to these reactions and cover the week. G'day guys, week 18 is done and the season is officially over. Onto the playoffs.
Can you believe it? We've made it 18 weeks already, not counting preseason and off-season, but it's wild. And now the real tournament begins. Actually, it already started today with the last game, but we'll get into that in a second.
Yeah, what a season.
It's too quick. It's too quick.
It's too quick. What a season, and what a way to go out of the regular season. That game was just bananas. That was
I was very dubious initially when they scheduled that game as the Sunday night football game. I thought, come on, surely it should have been the other side. But I think it may have ended up being the most memorable one of the week anyway.
The fact that it went down to the last play of the game for, this season was a game decider. And not only that, it was playoff. So, yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah,
and
it was awesome.
I think we've said this. I think I've said this before on the pod. Like, what a genius move by the NFL not to lock anything in until week 17.
Yes.
That is such a smart decision to just do that. So we get a game like today or the 2 on Saturday that are for division games. It's just unbelievable. How good.
He's unbelievable.
And just out of pure curiosity, I actually looked to see like ticket prices. And when this game got announced, I looked and you could get tickets for like a little over $100. It was not outrageous. So, I imagine being there at that. That would have been epic.
And that's what finals football should be, Brad.
Yeah. Yeah. Accessible to the masses.
That's right. All right. In case anyone is brand new and tuning in and listening to us waffle on, this is the G'day Gridiron podcast brought to you by the Aussie Gridiron Network. Myself, Ian, Brad, Nick, and Isaac, all here to go through Week 18 reactions from all around Australia, some of our own as well, and some other bits and pieces of news that have happened since that last game between the Ravens and the Steelers blew the final whistle. We've got reactions from the NFL Fans Down Under Facebook group, as always, a whole stack there from people that we've compiled. And then we'll have a chat about each of those and maybe some other games and some other stuff, which we've got to bring up. So, boys, we've already been chatting about it as is. Let's just start with that Ravens-Steelers game. As you said, what a fantastic game, Brad. My only problem with it is why wait until the fourth quarter to play all of your offense? I just don't understand. What are the first 2 hours of football for if you're going to leave it to the last minute, Baltimore Ravens? What the hell?
Drama. It's just purely setting up the drama is all. But yeah, you're right. That first half, Pittsburgh offense was atrocious. That was as bad as you could get. So
I'm not even sure the defense was that great for either team either. It was just a very poor game by halftime.
It was. Yeah. So, but they turned it around that second half, and it was epic.
I don't think the defense has got any better in the second half. Like that Zay Flowers one where he was just absolutely wide open. There was no one was in QE. And then the Ravens defender slips and no one's in QE of Austin, who runs it in for a touchdown, like right at the end there. It was like crazy. Absolutely crazy.
We got a couple of reactions. Manjot, our good mate Manjot, who is is number one Lamar fan. He is the leader of the Lamami for sure, worldwide most likely. Ravens loss is good for them as they can finally fire Harbaugh. And then our good mate Jack every day. Such a thrilling end to Steelers versus Ravens. Raiders getting a win to finish the season was a small consolation. That's pretty good for Jack. And yes, there it is. My reaction is there, and I'm not. You're an idiot, Isaac.
Read it out. Read it out. Come on.
Well, I already said it. What's the point of the first 2 hours of football if you're going to leave all your offense until the fourth quarter? Neither Ravens or Steelers deserve to be there. Ravens just need to grow a pair and get rid of Harbaugh. Our fearless leader, Xi Jinping. The Ravens need to get rid of Harbaugh. They need to actually grow a pair and do it. The ownership there just needs to realise that they are not going to move on currently. They're not going to get over this hump. And the same can be said for a couple of teams. Ones that are in the playoffs even. There's a hump there that is just restricted by coaching alone. And John Harbaugh's just conservative nature and the weird shit that him and his coordinators come up with towards the end of games to just screw the Ravens out of the wins every time, where even games like a couple of weeks ago where they were completely dominating and you take Derrick Henry out for an entire quarter, they could have had this tied up weeks ago. This is what makes people genuinely, this is what makes cookers genuinely believe that there is a script to the NFL. That it's like WWE. This kind of dumb shit.
Yeah, well, how upset do you reckon that the Ravens are that they let Mike McDonald go and now they've got John Harbaugh? He would have been a perfect successor, sitting there waiting to take the reins, and they've let him go to the Seahawks. So, yeah.
If he doesn't get let go, I reckon it would be more. And this could be the same. If Tomlin had lost today, I think it's more so that the pool of guys that could be picked up this year with the many different jobs, it's not probably as good as what it was last year. So, if you're going to get rid of Harbaugh, who can you really bring in? Who's just that standout guy that's like, okay, this is going to be the guy that can definitely get us back to being that 12, 13 win team that we're usually.
Yeah, I think that's what Isaac's point is. It's 2 years too late. They should have done this a couple of years ago when Mike McDonald was looking to leave. They should have. That's when they should have done it.
I've got the one name for you, Nick, and you're not going to like it.
You're going to say Summer.
He's your DC at the moment, baby. He would turn that stuff around pretty quickly.
True, but he's not going to make Lamar magically healthy.
No, he's not, but he's going to turn that defense around to what it once was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, it would definitely be. Look, would their defense be better? Absolutely. Silas is. This is working with not much, but if they get Silas, they instantly go. First two. It's a pass rush heavy draft, so he'd definitely be spending their first two picks on D linemen for sure, because that's what had worked with us many years ago, and that's the core of how he operates his defenses. You need to be good up front, and the rest of it will take care of itself.
Yeah. What are we going to move to next? Let's see. On that kind of, I guess Tim Strakers is kind of related to it, is that Orr and Loop get scapegoated for today while Harbaugh survives for another season. That is still in that same vein, of course. Tyler Loop absolutely shanked, the most shank of all shanks, to end that game and to hand that win to the Steelers. There would be one or two kicks in all of history that I've seen that would be worse than that shank. It went so far right. It was so ridiculous. I think I've seen one that basically hit a corner post at one point. That could be worse, but that was terrible. And it nearly missed the net.
Mate, I honestly though, as soon as you miss that kick, you feel for the bloke, because the amount of scrutiny he's going to get on the internet, and probably
he's gotten death threats already. Stuff. People, there are screenshots
probably
of people just saying dumb shit on the internet already, straight after it.
As soon as I was like, oh, that poor bloke, like he's a rookie.
Yeah.
Like in top pressure situation. Like, yeah, I really feel that, yeah, you're thinking of him. Like, I know he's missed a pretty important kick, but as always, no one deserves to get those kind of threats and stuff online. So, yeah, you feel for him a bit.
And he's going to have to live with it all season is the thing. It's not like he can just get over it next week and come back. He's going to sit on that thing forever. So I'm sure hopefully the team rallies around him a little bit. And...
I was actually interested in watching the aftermath of that to see if you could see in the background of any of the watching to see if any of the players had gone over to him to lift him up off the ground if he's on his knees or anything like that. But they didn't show anything like that. I know the holder gave him a hug after it, but
because
just like a leadership group of Lamar or someone should have gone over, picked him up off the ground, brought him back to the change room. That's my feeling anyway, to just show that, it's heartbreaking loss, hard way to lose, but you feel for the young fella.
Yeah, it's different. It's easy for us to say that, but I think when these guys when you're getting paid, it takes on a different mentality, and they're so ultra competitive that I think almost sometimes it's better for them, depending on the guy, to just not be around them right away, because they'll say or do something that they regret later. But that's just immaturity a little bit.
It's a little bit like the Mark Andrews drop in the playoffs last year, really, when they had the 2-pointer for the divisional. It's the same thing.
Good,
so
good recall.
Two games, if they hadn't been flipped, who knows what could have happened, really.
And to lose, and that's the thing, is the Ravens have done this over and over. They've lost so heartbreakingly so many times. You just kind of almost come to expect it from them. And ultimately, I think that's going to be the undoing of Harbaugh, is just that he can't get them over the hump, except for that, unless he's got the elite defense.
I automatically thought they were going to get it when Boswell missed that extra point. I thought, all right, it's the Ravens' time to come down the field. 3 timeouts, plenty of time.
Well, and then
they're going to go down and get a field goal.
Yeah.
Oh, and the kick return.
The kick return. They need like another 15 yards, and they're within field goal range. So, but then they had that the penalty or whatever it was.
Yeah.
They completed the pass, and the left tackle does the false start. Which it was, or no, his head wasn't lined up. Is that what it was? Yeah.
I think neutral zone or something.
Yeah. And so
it was illegal formation, wasn't it?
Because he was too far back, because his head has to be in line with the center's ass, and it wasn't, and so they called him on it. And it's to me, it was a little bit ticky-tacky in such a crucial part of the game, but the scriptwriters demanded it, and therefore they got it.
It's just what pressure does, doesn't it? Like, you line up 1,000 times a season, and the one time you don't line up properly, they call it, and you're just like,
it's a larger point, but I felt there was a lot of missed calls this week. It just to me, it was a bad week for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, needs to tighten up going into the playoffs, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mike McDonald, let's go all the way back. It seems like so long ago now, Sunday, midday Sunday in Australia, where Mike McDonald's defense absolutely stifled the San Francisco 49ers and Brock Purdy, and the Seahawks offense did just enough. Sam Darnold was almost perfect and did just enough to get the Seattle Seahawks across the line against the 49ers 13-3. This game, I knew it was going unders. This is after the last shootout that the Seahawks had. I just had this massive feeling that this was going unders, and the same with the 49ers. What a game, though. This was a defensive masterclass, Brad. I know you would have loved this one for sure.
I loved it. Probably a little bit more than Nick.
I loved it because it was low scoring, Ian. Come on.
No, well, yes, because he does love the unders. I did hit a bet in our group, by the way, on the unders for this game.
Beautiful, beautiful. The thing about this game, and I don't know, Nick, if you feel the same way or not, but I think if it wasn't for that Sam Darnold sack near the goal line and the fact that that kicker couldn't kick a thing, this would have been over a lot sooner in my opinion. Because that Seahawks defense, that looks like a Super Bowl type defense. The way, and they're peaking at the right time. So I don't know, Nick, do you think it was defense or was it just the offense of the 49ers just not being able to get anything going on their end?
I think it's a combination of both, but I would definitely lean it more towards Seattle's defense. It was absolutely stuffed. Like we could not get anything going until that one drive where McCaffrey sort of bobbles it and it turns into an interception, which I had nightmares about last night. Anyway, yeah, they were amazing. Like they were everywhere, and they didn't cause that much pressure. But if you guys had actually watched, I don't know if you guys had watched actually the full game and also the highlights, but there was a clear plan that was set out, and it was a little bit like if you cast your minds back a couple of years ago, we played Baltimore when McDonald was at Baltimore, and they came and played us in San Francisco. It was very similar to that, where it was very similar to that where they had four guys who could get to the quarterback somewhat. Like they weren't completely taking over the game, that pass rush, but they were doing enough to make Purdy uncomfortable. And they played in a dime set, and they pretty much said, we're going to sit six guys in sort of this shell coverage sort of setup, because they knew that we couldn't beat them over the top. Pearsall wasn't there. So literally it was Jennings, who's more so your underneath and intermediary route sort of runner. And then it's Kittle, and then you've got McCaffrey underneath. So they just played six in coverage. They played up, and they said, beat us in the short game. And we couldn't. Like, they knew what we were doing. We didn't have anyone that could vertically stretch them. Pearsall in the first game was quite good against them, so that's probably what made them shift a little bit. But they were phenomenal. Like, it's probably the best defensive performance I've seen most of this year. Like, it's up. Like, you could probably point to a number of Denver and Houston sort of performances as well that's in the mix, but they were stifling. But to your point about the game definitely could have been 17-3 at half for sure. Credit though that our defense wasn't that good. That the 13 does us justice. I think the only reason it ended up only being 13 is because situationally in the red zone we're actually quite solid, and I think Seattle were a little bit more aggressive where they're like, they're not going to catch us, so just why not just take the points, just get over and done with early. So yeah, full credit to them. The offense, it looks a lot better than the 13 points. Situationally, if I was Seattle, I'd have a few questions just because of that goal line stand earlier in the game. Fourth down. Yeah. They had a few times where they didn't come through in third down. So, but that can be stuff that can be fixed. And I suppose that will come down to Sam Darnold and how he goes in the playoffs.
The one thing that I found interesting was I was reading an article about it because I watched the whole game, but I didn't realize that they said this is Shanahan's worst game rushing in his entire career as a head coach. The worst
really?
team.
I would say.
Yeah. In terms of success rate, they said 9 years, 161 games, and no other defenses. They had a 10% success rate on the ground. And the thing is like, to your point, Seattle did it with generally a light box. They didn't go big, super heavy.
They did,
so, that's the thing. And credit to Schneider, the GM for Seattle, because he's built this defense around stopping this type of an offense and this and the Rams. Basically, the offenses he sees in the division. So credit to him for just having the right guys and they've stepped up. And if I had to put money, it'd be on the Seahawks right now.
I like you guys.
I was just going to say, not only did they come with the game plan for the defense, but they come with a game plan for the offense, which was just ground and pound that ball and wear that 49ers defense out.
Yes.
make them tired. They had 39 rushing attempts in the whole game, which, from what I was watching, I was in and out of the game. It was every time I turned it on or looked up, Charbonnet or Kenneth Walker were doing a 5 or 6 yard rush, and that just keeps that defense on the field, wears them out. I think they're a bigger defense up front, so it was just wear them down on defense, wear them down on offense, and it showed with them only scoring 3 points after scoring 42 the week before against a good Bears defense as well. So, I just wanted to chuck that in. Like, they came with a good game plan on both sides of the ball.
Because that defense was out on the field like 2/3, 75% more than the offense, at least in the first half. So, you're right, and it was unreal.
33 carries for 171 yards. That's Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet together. The only other person who had any rushing was 6 carries for 9 yards from Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Those two accounted for 171 yards of rushing offense.
Yeah. And I was talking about this with a Seahawks fan at work today, and he said, why does Darnold get that reputation of he's going to choke in the playoffs? And I said, look, Darnold's probably... But Darnold's in two seasons, Darnold's had how many bad games, you reckon? Maybe 2 or 3?
Yeah, but if we're measuring him...
The guys...
Yeah, but if we're measuring him in like these playoff type situations. So like there was 2 games last year, one against Detroit and then the playoff game against you guys, which you both laid an egg in. This year, obviously the Rams game, the first one, which you guys had won early in the year, he threw the 4 picks. But the last time around, he had a very good game. So where he came back, he didn't play that well in the first half, but you can see that he was mentally tough to overcome it. So there were signs. I suppose this game, like, he wasn't a massive influence. It was more so the run game and their defense that sort of killed us. But yeah, I mean, it's a style like we've done on our end when we've had Jimmy Garoppolo. It can work. It can get you very far.
He didn't lay an egg in that sense.
No, he didn't lay an egg.
He went 20 for 26, which is markedly better than he did last year against, as you said, the Lions and then the Rams in that playoff game.
Yeah.
So it is so much better. And you can say as well that Lions offense under Ben Johnson and then Sean McVay in the playoffs with the Rams last year, and now this particular 49ers, Shanahan 49ers, they're all very similar. Not just the Aaron Glenn defense, I should have said, against the Lions, but they're all very similar styles together, the way that they are all constructed. So you can see that from this one, he's obviously learnt something from last year and from the rest of the season this year, coming up against all of the NFC West this season, and there's growth. So
there's growth.
Yeah,
you can see it.
I truly think
2 weeks' time is only going to be his second playoff game ever because he was on basket cases of teams.
I truly think it was a narrative that kind of built momentum on its own. Do you guys remember back when he was young and he was going against Belichick, and that was that whole meme of I'm seeing ghosts out there? Yeah, and that just that built up. It became a little catchphrase, and then people started running with that, and so I think that kind of created a false narrative around him.
I think that's created a false narrative for his career. But again, we talked about it, just like Baker before him. Like they were young, they weren't that good at their craft, and they needed a few more years in the right coaching. You know, but also you pointed out, Brad, he was coming up against a Belichick defense that was ridiculous back then in division as well, which he always played better against the Jets. So that's where that narrative comes from. Anyway, how about the other Saturday game? Let's touch on that quickly. Glenn Baker, keep pounding, NFC South champs. The Carolina Panthers become the NFC South division winners, courtesy of a loss to the Buccaneers, and then the Falcons beating the Saints today, 19-17, only just beating the Saints today. The Bucs Panthers game was a ridiculously silly game once again. The Buccaneers showed some flashes that they could have beaten the pants off the Panthers, but then still took it down to the wire. Somehow we get this regression game from Bryce Young again, where he, instead of being Bryce Mahomes, he once again is young Bryce. So I don't understand this kid. It's just back and forth. I wonder if he's the next QB that really needs a new home, something different. He needs someone else to teach him something different, or just a different environment, Isaac. It's because...
Yeah, I'm not too sure because, as you say, he's shown flashes, and I just want to read out the picture that, or paint a picture for you guys that that Glenn put on Facebook. I don't know if you've seen. Have you seen Friday, Brad, with Chris Tucker and Ice Cube?
Yeah, of course.
I forgot he posted that picture.
How much for one rib?
Screen. Come on.
Well, I can't share the screen, but he's got Smokey and Ice Cube sitting there, and he goes, "How do you make the playoffs on your day off?" Oh, he's so good. Oh, Ian's going to bring it up.
There you go. Nice.
That made me laugh a lot today at work. I was cracking up at that, but
yeah, that is good. No, it's a classic movie.
Yeah,
I think the winners of that were bad football because of this game.
That's why I don't want to talk about it too much because it was ridiculous. Whatever team got through is going to get smoked in the playoffs next week. I mean, the Panthers have probably got the best odds of actually maybe pulling something out and doing something different in the playoffs in the wild card round. They're the only one of these two teams because the Bucks just, I don't know, it was a jigsaw puzzle that was missing like 45% of the pieces. It was just ridiculous. And for no reason at all, because everybody was there. It's like you have them all in the box, but you can't figure out where they all go. So you just throw a bunch in the bin and see if it works again. Like, it just doesn't work that way.
This game was emblematic of the entire division. It was sloppy. 100%. It was gross to look at. And I'm sorry, but I don't want to, like I say, I don't want to pick it apart, but that flea flicker that Canales drew up in the red zone
was rubbish.
My grandmother knew that flea flicker was coming.
That was atrocious.
That was the worst. I'm a Canales defender, but not on that. That is awful.
You can tell that's big game. Yeah, 100%.
I don't even know, but that flea flicker had me, Brad, because you start feeling your feet go down. Why are you trying to still throw it backwards?
Exactly.
Why are you just not eating the sack at that point? Like,
yeah. And then Bryce didn't really go after the ball when it was on the ground, and it was pathetic. It was bad. So anyway,
I must say that Saturday couldn't have fallen any better for my Rams.
Yeah,
the 49ers win. They dropped to 6.
Yep.
The Panthers get in. Like, even if you face the Bucks, but
you still would have win. It wouldn't matter who you were facing out of those two teams.
That's right. And we made hard work of the Cardinals today, but Christ, I was glad we're getting the Panthers. Mind you, they did beat us in week 13. I've had to go back and look at the schedule of when they beat us, and week 13 this year they beat us as well. So,
I don't think it's happening. Well, again, they're probably the only one of those two teams that would have the possibility of actually pulling something out. If he truly plays like Bryce Mahomes next week, and we get like a 300-yard plus game with 3 or 4 touchdowns and a near perfect passer rating, then that's probably where you're at.
There were a few missed calls in that game too, from what I've been seeing from highlights, and that the Teddy McMillan.
There's a ton of missed calls.
Yes, that went against the Panthers. So
there was some that were just close, not really missed calls, but sort of ticky tack things, I guess. The Ted McMillan one is the big one. It's something that you don't call.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, K. Doughton trips over his own feet, and they call pass interference.
That's right.
Yeah, it's just it was just stupid.
There was the other one, the missed one. Everyone's bitching about where the helmet comes off. Someone takes was it one of the Panthers wide receivers? I think gets his helmet taken off by a Bucks defender. Everyone's like, how come that didn't get called? But like, if you move to half the play before that, there was opposite way. Like, it went both ways. Like, they let it go because they were onto each other. which is fine. But you get that, and then you get these ticky-tack calls where Ted McMillan swats a guy's hand away, and then they call him on a offensive PI. It's like, what?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And
then
too long on that game, Brad. Too long.
It is. Let's move. Exactly.
Quickly, Damien. It says, of course, the Commanders play when it don't mean shit. Really need the off-season to get in, rest players, work on getting more talent in our limited draft picks as they stand. So hoping last season wasn't a flash in the pan. Look, the reality is the Eagles were resting way too many players to ever actually do anything in that Commanders game. They started a game with Tanner McKee at quarterback, for God's sake. There were a few weird flashes of cool stuff that did happen in this game, more around the Eagles than the Commanders, which is funny. It's a great shot. God, I don't know who he pushed. Tank Bigsby blocked a lineman in this game when they was coming at Tanner McKee, and he picked him up and trucked him. He picked him up, a 300-pound lineman. So, tanks definitely have legs, apparently. Matty C.
Shout out.
So, Aiden Carroll, Pats played well today, dominated Miami. Players returning at the right time. Also, AFC TV schedule worked out perfectly. Last game decided the remaining playoff spot. Everyone's pretty on board with our thoughts and feelings on that Ravens game. Yeah, the Pats did play well today. Miami are still in that feel good, like we're all loving each other and playing for the fun of the game thing, where they're actually playing well. It might actually save McDaniel's job, maybe, because they end up 7-10. So who knows? Maybe he can convince somebody that if they can play like that all season, they might do something. But 38-10 against the Patriots, they weren't really much chop at all. But the Pats definitely showed that they are playoff ready.
Yeah.
Scott Hempel, who is a massive Broncos fan. Hate to say it, but I get the feeling that the Broncos are about to do what the Titans did in 2021, secure the number 1 spot seed, then get knocked out after the bye.
If this doesn't shout out Manjot, like the reverse jinx, like, come on.
Yeah,
let's
fully.
Yeah,
I don't know,
on, Scott. Let's go. Ride the Broncos.
They only
let's
just beat the Chargers today, and the Chargers really were resting everybody. So they were playing against second and third stringers, and in that first half, the Chargers, like, they scored 10 on them, but after that, not much of anything through the rest of the game. Only ended up winning the game 19-3. So this is kind of this Broncos curse that we've talked about in previous weeks, Nick, where it's like they seem to keep playing up or down to their opposition.
Yeah, it's really weird. And I'm trying to think back because of the comparison you made, the Titans, when they were the 1 seed. Trying to think of who they play in the division. Was that Cincinnati when they made the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Is that right?
And their defense was elite, and they didn't even score any touchdowns in that game.
Yeah.
It was I think it was all field goals. And
is that when they had Tannehill?
Yeah,
yes.
The quarterback
and their running back room was like Derrick Henry, who should have won MVP, and Adrian Peterson,
he broke his foot.
Yeah, and they brought in
Henry.
Peterson.
And then Henry broke his foot, and he came back for that game, but he was a shell of himself, and it was just, it was. I remember that because they were the number 1 seed, and that was kind of the beginning of the end for Vrabel, because that defense was so awesome. But Joe Burrow got them down into field goal range, and every time they did what they needed to. So I wouldn't compare him to that personally. But
I think that was just a comparison in terms of, like, it's the last number 1 seed that gets knocked out in their first round. Yeah, you get the bye, you come off the bye, you work your ass off, get the bye, you come off the bye and just lose in a ridiculous fashion to a team that you shouldn't be losing to.
Detroit did it last year, didn't they?
Was that?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Detroit lost to the Commanders last year.
They did, yes. They're the last team.
In the divisional round after coming first in their division. in the conference.
I was going to say it also
Were they
happened.
the number 1 seed?
Yes.
Yeah, because they got the
They're
bye.
15-2.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I was going to say it also happened the last time Aaron Rodgers was in a playoff game as well. Against someone in particular.
Oh, yes. That's right.
They must have 10 points with prime Devontae Adams.
That's right. I put big money on the Packers that game.
What a game.
I just hope people tune into YouTube to watch Nick grab his can of Coke and have a sip of it after running out that line. Oh.
I'm for the Texans this week.
We got another Broncos one. Michael Edgar says, not sure what to make of my Broncos. I don't know if they're laying in wait to ambush other teams in the playoffs, or are we this anemic on offense? If we are, we'll be one and done in divisional round. It does feel like a lot of reverse jinx, doesn't it, Isaac?
Yeah,
it does.
If you like,
then you Isaac.
Oh, it's just like you were saying before, Ian. They play up and down to their competition. So if they get the better teams in the playoffs, they're going to play better up to that competition. All these people are saying, "Oh, the Broncos, they're winning games, and they're just winning games. Who cares? They're still winning games. They will do it in the playoffs. They're playing playoff football."
Yeah, and the thing that's scary to me about the Broncos is that they've got no major studs that have expiring contracts, and they're about $40 million under the salary cap. So they're going to make some more additions. This team could get really scary good, which will do wonders for Sean Payton's ego. It will help it so much.
You say that for the Broncos, though. If the only team I want to be facing in the next round, only because of how good the two other wild card defenses are, the only team I really want to face is probably the Bills. Only because if their offense actually can't get going and they come up against Houston comes in with a win, their offense is starting to click, the last sort of couple of weeks, could be a bit of trouble. And don't really count today's game, but Sean Payton full strength against Jim Harbaugh since he's been at the Chargers hasn't beaten him yet. So,
oh wow!
So okay. I think they'd be wanting the Bills to get up, and obviously the Chargers to be knocked out this week.
So they played last year, right? It was Bo Nix's first playoff game against the Bills, against Josh Allen.
Yep.
So it'd be a good rematch.
These delusional 49ers fans, Isaac, just one more of them.
Me, guys.
Scott Rutherford. Yesterday's game was a hard watch, so now we got to play away through to the Super Bowl. If and when we make it, we get to play at home at Levi. Go Niners. If it's a big if. Scott. I'm pretty sure he edited that because I'm pretty sure the first time he wrote that it was when we get to the Super Bowl. I was like, woo up there, big boy. When?
I love the spirit.
When?
So good.
Let's mention a couple other games from today because there are some bits and pieces out of that. The Texans obviously smacked the Colts 38-30, but the Colts started Riley Leonard, who was
and balled out.
The kid who was who's been training basically at Phillip Rivers' place in the off seasons, and Phillip Rivers talks massively about this kid and says he's a great quarterback. And sure enough, he balled out of 21 for 34 for 270 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was making some phenomenal throws to Alec Pierce and Josh Downs. And so it was ridiculous. And it's like, surely we should have been playing Riley Leonard 3 weeks ago and not Phillip Rivers.
Imagine that.
I woke up this morning to some X notifications saying that there's a certain name in head coaching roles already.
I know
that's getting talked about, which is Phillip Rivers.
What should actually happen is the Colts should probably just make him a quarterback coach if they're going to go forward with Riley Leonard on that team anyway. Is just make Phillip Rivers as a quarterback coach would be elite, I reckon.
Yeah,
he's such a great manner and the way he treats people and the younger guys around him, and he's a high school coach, so it comes from that as well.
I was just about to say, as a quarterback coach, that's fair enough. But like NFL head coach, the guy was just a junior high school coach 6 weeks ago. Get him a bit of experience.
Could you imagine Philip Rivers tuning up the refs as a head coach on a sideline, though?
Oh, man.
That would be comedy.
Daggone it!
Well, it sounds like they're going to bring back the head coach and the GM. So,
that's confirmed, yeah.
what? And they've got big issues at quarterback. They got to figure out what to do.
So Steichen should give him a quarterback coaching role, and just I think maybe move forward with Riley Leonard. I don't know if old One Eye can play again. Who knows?
Well, you got Daniel Jones there too. He's only on the one year, but
I think they should pay Daniel Jones again, and then just stick with Riley Leonard as a backup, and then
they need to bring back Alec Pierce, because I think he's off contract at the end of this season, which he will garner some very big interest in the open market. And he seemed to be, if they are going to move forward with Riley Leonard, he seemed to be the favourite target. So he had four receptions for 132 yards. That's a decent line right there.
It's a pretty decent line. 2 touchdowns in that as well.
Yeah, that's right.
And they were really good. That first touchdown was great.
Oh,
it was phenomenal. The big thing of that to me though is the Texans coming into a playoff game. Now I know they're going to be resting guys, but they didn't rest CJ Stroud. He played for the majority of the game, and their defenses don't usually rest. Even going into playoff games, you just don't rest the guys that much. And the Colts put 30 on them. So that's a little bit worrying for what is the number one defense in the entire league right now.
The Colts were leading this game up until 30 seconds left when they kicked that field goal.
Yeah.
So it's not a good tune-up for especially their defense. Yeah, as you said, 30 points. Come on.
Yeah. So not good at all. Other playoff teams in here, the Jags smacked the Titans 41-7. I don't know whether there's 24 points in the second quarter alone, and they still kept pushing on with starters way into the game, way too far into the game. I was starting to go, I'm watching Red Zone, they keep flicking back over and going, Trevor Lawrence is still in the game, and I'm thinking, what the fuck for?
Weird.
Like they were more than 30
for Duval,
points.
that's who for. For Duval.
Well, I just could have seen him end up going, like Lawrence goes down with an injury and they screw all of their chances in the playoffs totally after such an amazing season. Yeah.
Actually, I'll just go, one thing I was surprised at today is I was watching Red Zone, and the Bills just scored and they were up, up by 30, and they went for the 2-point conversion. I was like, fuck, that is a slap in the face to the Jets.
Yeah.
They just want to put the absolute beat down on those Jets. If they're up by 30 or 37, why are you going for a 2-point conversion? Seriously.
Ian, was your opener at the beginning when you said a record that's probably never going to be broken again?
That's what we're going to talk about right now, Brad. Let's talk about that Bills-Jets game. The Bills trounced the Jets 35-8. The Jets only putting up 8 points in way into garbage time in the fourth quarter. It should have been 35 to a big fat duck, that one. But yes, there is a record that the New York Jets have ended up with that no other team in history is likely to beat, regardless of how many playoff games we end up with or how many regular season games we end up with.
Yeah, that's it.
The New York Jets have officially finished an entire season with 0 interceptions. The first team ever to do so. Interceptions started being recorded as a stat in 1932. Meanwhile, jet airplanes were invented in 1939. Thank you to whoever put this together. The Jets have managed to accomplish a feat so embarrassing it predates their own mascot, actual Jets.
I love that. Somebody has too much time.
We were talking about this team, last year? Last year in our previews, not the season that's obviously just happened, the one before, about, the Jets could have one of the best defenses in the league.
Yeah, Salah. Yeah, yep.
How crazy is that?
Absolutely. Yeah, yep. And now we're here at this. It's just, and if you watch, I saw another article where they were putting together clips of all the interceptions they didn't have a ton of them, but there was like 3 or 4 that hit the Jets players like right in the hands, and they just dropped them. So it was bad play and bad luck.
Brad,
yeah, right.
The Jets were outscored 188-54 over their final 5 games of the season. All 5 were obviously losses. Just not competitive at all, regardless of those interceptions. But of course, this is Aaron Glenn, who a season ago was on the Lions and was a complete defensive guru, and they can't come up with a single takeaway.
He's got to be one and done, doesn't he? Surely,
he has to be
after that effort.
You can't be the worst defensive team in the league in your first year, and your specialty is on the defensive side of the ball. It can't happen. It can't.
Well, and the thing is that that boggles me is it sounds like the players were kind of just giving up, and when that happens, then it's really, really bad. I never imagined that it could be this bad. And the fact that Aaron Glenn was a stud DB cornerback, I mean, and they have 0 interceptions. It's just like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Just, but it's deserving of Woody Johnson and the way he runs the team. So it was I don't know if you heard at the end of the Pittsburgh game, Aaron Rodgers took a little dig at the Jets.
I love that.
He always has to.
Yeah. Just saying how it was better than the last 2 years that he had to endure, or the 2 years before that. So yeah, it was funny.
Actually, while we touch on the Jets, I don't know if anyone's seen Sauce Gardner today.
No.
So when he was at the Jets, his record was 1-7. He gets traded to the Colts. His record 1-7.
Oh.
The poor guy.
It's Sauce Gardner. He's the problem. Cut him now.
We mentioned the Falcons winning, ending up helping the Panthers get into the playoffs earlier. The Falcons won today, and then the Falcons organization lost. The Falcons immediately fired coach Raheem Morris after 2 very frustrating seasons. They also fired their GM, so the Falcons are in for a rebuild next season, complete and utter studs-up rebuild. They don't have much in a way. I mean, they've got Penix, but he is like McCarthy at this point where it seems he's made of glass. So, yeah, what have they got going forward? This is the team that has dumbfounded me all year. Any regular listener will have heard me just completely confused with what this team is, where they are up and they're down, they're playing good, they don't play well, and then they play amazing and accomplish feats like they did last week. Yeah, so Raheem Morris, one and done, officially the first of this sort of Mad Monday cycle.
To me, this is more on the GM than it is Morris personally. I just think because he's the one that's put this together. He's the one that's signed Cousins, and then with his first round draft pick, goes out and signs a player who has a bad injury history in Michael Penix. So, you can only cook with the ingredients that you're given. And Morris, I don't think he was great, but it's just, I think it's more Fontenot than it is Morris, personally.
Well, you think about it as well. Technically, today, the Falcons, forced the Buccaneers and the Panthers into a tiebreaker for the division. So it's not like, they were a 4-win team. I know they struggled earlier on the year and they've won their last 4 games and everything. But, if the season goes on an extra week, they could be in the playoffs next week. I know we're saying stuff like that, but I don't know. Me personally, maybe it was just a bit of, they got to the last month of the year and they knew they were knocked out, and it was just more so they were playing a bit more freely and, just trying to do as best they can. But I don't know. Maybe I would have given Morris one more year. I know they've got a lot of talent. They haven't really got a lot of talent on that defensive side. I know they invested a lot this offseason in the draft. He should have only had 1 season with it, but offensively, like you said, Brad, they've been all over the shop. Like they had the pick 8 with Penix. He's just been not what they wanted him to be. He's injured. They've, signed Kirk Cousins to a big deal. Who's costing them a lot. So I don't know. Me personally, I probably would have given him one more year, and it's just like, okay, you've got guys on the offensive side of the ball. Get a good OC, they'll be able to work it out. But defensively, give them another year. Few guys in the draft maybe, but I don't know. I feel like it was a little bit hard done by.
All right, so all that today ends up washing out with our wildcard playoff round and our total bracket, our playoff bracket for 2025-26 NFL playoffs. As we can see there, we've got the Broncos and the Seahawks in one. Next week, we are going to see some cracking games. Bears v Packers, Eagles v 49ers, Panthers v Rams on the NFC side, and then Pats v Chargers, Jags v Bills, Steelers v Texans on the AFC side. What a sensational bracket. I love this. I really do. I was talking to the boys today, Brad, about the fact that, in my opinion, this could set us up to the point where our championship round could be Seahawks Rams on one side.
Don't say that, please.
And Patriots Bills on the other side.
How epic would that be? But you know what's going to happen? The Eagles are going to get right, and they're going to go on a bender. It's just, yeah, which nobody wants to see. Wow. Yeah.
We welcome your allegiance this week, Bradley.
Oh, yeah.
Because his allegiance goes so well. Who do you go for, Brad?
Shut your hole.
And so this is I haven't mentioned the Cowboys yet today. So this is what our wildcard times look like. This is in American times because they haven't released the Australian times yet, but we know what they're going to be. Sunday in Australia, we are going to see Rams v Panthers and Packers Bears. So your early late game. Monday in Australia, you will see the early time slot. What's 1 p.m.? Is that the 5 a.m. game still? Yes.
What is it? 1 p.m. Eastern.
1 p.m. Eastern. Yeah.
Is that
so
4:30?
Yeah, that's the 4:30, 5 o'clock game.
Yeah. So your early game, you've got Bills Jags, and then we lead into 49ers Eagles. And then Chargers, Patriots. And then we have Monday Night Football. So Tuesday in Australia, Texans, Steelers to round out the wild card weekend. An amazing slate of games for a wild card weekend. I think we mentioned a few weeks ago, this could be one of those times where any of the away teams could actually get up.
Yeah. I'm
Are you asking how many? Should we do an over under?
No, there is a possible over under on away teams getting up.
Yeah.
Okay,
so it's okay. So Rams are away. Is that right? Packers are away. Bills are away. San Francisco's away. Chargers are away.
Set the over. I'll set it.
Houston's away.
3.5. I was going to say 2.5 for the away teams.
3.5.
I'll go under 2.5.
Under 2.5.
Yeah.
Nick's only saying 3.5 because the 49ers are away to the Eagles.
Who said
he genuinely thinks they're going to win.
That's not what I said at all.
I'm more with Ian. I would have probably put it at 2.5, and even then I would
over or under on 2.5. You take the under at 2.5, Brad.
I'm taking the under at 2.5.
Yeah. I'll take the over.
Yeah, same here.
If we're doing it 2.5, I'll take the over.
Excellent.
I think
the one that people aren't considering is
I'd take the over as well. But
I think that the game that people aren't considering, just because I don't know, everyone thinks probably because they're a bit beat up and injured. I'm not talking about us. Is actually the Packers. I don't know. I feel like the psychological warfare that they've had over Chicago for so long. Yeah, I don't know.
People are already writing off the Bills, to be honest, as well.
They're favoured in this game.
I know, but in terms of fans, NFL fans, they're writing off the Bills.
Are they actually favoured?
Yeah.
And I don't know how you could write off the Bills, to be honest.
No,
But we'll talk about all this stuff in our preview shows later on in the week. We're going to preview every single one of these games. So for playoffs this year, between somewhere amongst the four of us or a few ring-ins here and there, we will preview every single playoff game, and we'll do a review for every single playoff game post-week as well. So you'll get usual Saturday, you'll see us or hear us do all the previews, and then we'll be out with a reaction show after the week is done. So make sure you listen out everywhere for that as well, right where you're listening to it now or watching on YouTube. That would be cool. So yeah, we'll preview all those. We won't get too in depth about those now because there are a couple more things just to talk about really quickly. Let's hit the draft order because 1 through 18 is set for draft order now. Here's our official 2026 draft order, 1 through 18. Raiders get that number 1 overall pick. Then it's the Jets, the Cardinals, the Titans, the Giants, the Browns, the Commanders, the Saints, Chiefs, Bengals, Dolphins, Cowboys. The Rams end up with the 13th pick, courtesy of the Falcons. The Ravens, the Bucks, the Jets end up with the 16th pick, courtesy of the Colts and Lions. And then my Minnesota Vikings pick at number 18, right in the meat of the sandwich.
So question for today's game. Do you reckon Vegas would have won that game if the Giants lost against the Cowboys in the early window?
I think that they would have been trying not to.
I think the Chiefs will.
But I have a feeling by the way the Chiefs were playing that the Chiefs didn't want to hand
100%
the number 1 overall pick to a division rival.
That was my thinking.
The Chiefs were not like that's like they pulled dudes off the street in Kansas and just said, "Here's a jersey.
Let's hope not.
Just run out."
Well, that's how I felt. That's how I felt about the
pulled
Cowboys.
Off dudes on the street.
Oh, okay.
Jeez. That's how I felt about the Cowboys Giants. They didn't want to win because then the Giants get a top 5, like top 3 pick, and they don't want that for a division rival. So it's a crazy mindset, but I think that's what's happened.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk way more about the draft, obviously post Super Bowl, and we're working on reviews for each team through the season, and then we'll do in-depth dives for some off-season content on every single team. So we'll talk more about draft order then. Boys, we're getting towards the end of the show. The last thing I really wanted to have a very quick chat about this week is that with all this being set now and all the divisions being won and lost, we can finally know who the LA Rams home opponents are for next season because, of course, the Los Angeles Rams are playing a home game in Melbourne for the first time next season. Here are the home teams or the home opponents for the Rams in 2026. The Cardinals, the 49ers, the Seahawks, the Cowboys, the Giants, the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Packers, and the Buffalo Bills. One of those will be the away opponent for the Australian game. Who are we thinking? Brad, who do you reckon?
To be honest with you, I think it's going to be the Cowboys because it's simply because there's a direct flight from Dallas to Australia.
There is. I've been on that flight. It was a monster, 16-hour flight. I
think I think it's either Dallas or it could be the Chargers. Those are my bets.
Actually, I think that direct flight. There's a direct flight from Sydney and a direct flight from Melbourne. I'm pretty sure the Melbourne one is only 14 hours.
I'm not sure, but yeah,
pretty sure it is from memory.
I will. I'll sell my firstborn to go see that one if it's the Cowboys.
We hope they're listening.
Nick,
your firstborn is old enough to work as well, Brad. That's the best part about that.
Oh yeah, he's going to pay his own way.
Yeah, he'll be making money.
Yeah.
I think Nick had some pretty strong feelings about it earlier today when we were talking.
You think
he was thinking 49ers?
No. I unfortunately think it's going to be Seattle because only from the stuff I've seen that Seattle's done a lot more stuff here as well, like the Rams have done. So I think unfortunately it is probably going to end up being Seattle. I have heard talks that they want it to be a West Coast team as well, just because of this sort of time zones and more so the travel and that as well. So that pretty much remains. Seahawks, us, the Chargers. You can include like Dallas and Arizona. I suppose they're close enough. Yeah,
but they still have to. Dallas. The thing is, you wouldn't have to do a connecting flight. Well, if with Dallas, that's kind of what made me say them. Whereas even with Seattle, you would. But yeah, I get your point.
In terms of international markets, the Raiders, the Rams, the Seahawks. Who else did I say? What was the other fourth one I said? The Eagles. The four that have the rights to Australia and New Zealand. So that's where it was sort of lending me to saying it's possibly the Seahawks as well, being a West Coast team, as Nick said. Yeah. And they've got the marketing rights to Australia. It would mean that they can effectively market the game in two ways.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It means I can bust out and share all my Seahawk gear with you guys if you want.
Oh my God, man, it's getting worse.
So there's been a lot of chatter in Facebook groups and all that about this today, because did it get released today, these teams?
Yes. Because these all got finalised today. Yeah.
And we looked up the Oceanic region teams, which Ian just mentioned, those four teams, and someone come back to me on one of the sites and said the away team is basically not allowed to do any promotion or activities of their own at international games. Ooh. So it is unlikely to be a team coming to their own market as an away team. Pat's Unfiltered is it must be a podcast, spoke about this during their last international trip. So that kind of I was on the same train as you guys, saying that the Oceanic teams would have a look at.
I'd have to go back to early season and see if that was true, to be honest, because I can only think of the London games where you see marketing from both teams regardless. And I wonder, thinking back to like when the Jags are playing 2 to 3 weeks over there, they weren't always the home team. They were the away team at some point.
Yeah,
I think maybe
doing marketing.
My guess would
be
the
Jags owner owned Wembley, didn't he? So he takes games there off his own bat, not off the NFL's bat, right?
Yeah.
My guess would be is that
they do it in partnership, but yes.
Yeah.
My guess would be is that the Rams are probably paying for these games, which is probably why they might not want those teams that have like those connections, because obviously links to like NFL Academy and all that. So my guess is that they don't want those connections because they want all the eyeballs to be like, this is our home game and everything like that, because they've probably paid the money for it.
To me, then, that would automatically exclude the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Because they are the biggest marketed team in the entire world. So you would take that out of that, which would then, to me, of all these teams, I would go back to a Cardinals game because they're so bad, which is weird for a divisional game, or Giants.
Yeah. So my pick from the start was the Giants, just due to the strength of their team. Like they're not going to want to send a game here, LA Rams versus Seattle Seahawks or the 49ers. Because they are two massive rivals, right? They can make a lot of money off that in the States. The Cardinals, yes, because everyone beats up on the Cardinals in the NFC West. And then you've got the Giants. But the Giants might be really good next year. They've got neighbours to come back. They've got Jackson Dart. Ian's very excited about Scatterboo coming against the Giants.
Hey, Cam Scatterboo down here when you've got like league and rugby players doing like run it straight drills. Come on. They just work together. Like the marketing just fixes itself, doesn't it?
And then they can go out and have crayons for dinner.
Could you imagine Scatterboo just doing run it straight stuff with some of the league guys?
Oh,
it'd be insane.
That'd be incredible.
But my pick after reading that comment in one of the groups was, I think it's going to be the Giants or the Packers maybe.
Actually,
Packers
now
might
I
be
think
one
about
to
it,
keep an eye on.
All things considered and considering what Isaac said as well, maybe not if you're picking more the strength of the team or like the strength of the brand of the team, maybe it could be the Chargers then. But then I'm confused as to why they wouldn't just have that game in LA, because it's like it's a neutral game then anyway.
That's probably
what's the point
maybe
in the
why
travel?
they wouldn't then.
Yeah,
But it could be why they wouldn't though too, Nick, though.
As Brad mentioned too, it's one flight. It's not, you're not connecting any flights for LA to for
All
LA
I know
teams.
is that Americans love to travel and they have this fascination with Australia, and there's so many Americans that could do right now with coming to Australia and seeing what Australia can offer so that they can see how bad their own country is. So, that's all.
Well, could they send them to a better place than Melbourne?
Well,
like somewhere sunny?
It should have been
nice.
It should have been a better stadium than Melbourne, that's for sure.
But it holds the most people, right? It's all about that moolah.
That was the stupidest decision, but anyway.
It's going to look garbage on a TV screen.
That's
probably where we're all going to be watching it.
It'll be worse. It'll be worse being there. Like, the sight lines will be awful.
Yeah.
Come on, let's get the Niners down here. And get us in at halftime. Let us do the halftime show.
Amen.
It's all that means is that next season, as in 2027, someone else will go, we're going to pay for a game and we're going to do it it'll be Brisbane or Sydney, because we'll show you how it should be done. Yeah, we'll do it better. Because that's what happened with the London games and
another game.
The England games.
I bet you it'll be in Brisbane eventually with the Olympics. Cause they just
I was just about to say that. With the
stadium,
it won't be till 2029, I reckon, in Brisbane.
Yeah.
More the better.
Yep.
Absolutely. You guys can come stay at my house.
That's it. We're going to stay Brad's.
Yep.
Beware. I've done it before. There's cowboy shit everywhere.
Screw going to the game.
We just got to put in the middle of the night. It scares you even more.
We're going to put the TV out by the pool. That's screw the game. The TV by the pool. And we'll just stay Brad's.
I asked Nick, do you want to see the Big D? And he said no.
Maybe later.
Let me take a shower first. Speaking of the Big D, how'd you like it? Derrick Henry, he wrote our betting comp.
I'll provide the buns. You guys give me the meat.
It comes back to bite me every time. Anyway.
What'd you say? Sorry, Brad. Okay,
that's right. Derrick Henry. He inflated our group betting quite a bit today.
Did he?
Yeah, I put some money on him to get over 125 yards. He was paying 4-1, and he came out at 126.
I couldn't believe those odds. That's insane, considering he went for over 200 last week.
That's why I jumped on it.
So in Australian terms, for anybody that is listening and doesn't want to do conversions, he was paying $4.30 for 125 plus yards. Yeah.
Plus 330.
And Brad hit it. What a hit!
I did. I sold my car on it in my own personal account, so I was very happy.
Well, Brad, I also hit on one today, and this one's for Matty C. Tyler Shuck over 228.5 yards.
Beautiful.
Matty doesn't believe me that he's a good quarterback. So anyway, I hit that. Righto. Anyway, enough shit talking. There is going to be some shit talking later in the week because I'm pretty sure we might have Australia's only Jags fan on the podcast for the wildcard previews.
Beautiful.
I know he is chomping at the bit to talk about the Jags in a playoff, and we should probably give him his time in the sun just in case it, like me as a Vikings fan, it never happens again. Make sure you look out for that coming up on Saturday. We'll have previews of every single game from the wildcard round. You can find... Oh, no, hang on. Whoa! Back the train up. I forgot something.
Should we do you want to do it now or just save it for the next one?
No. I need to do this now. I need to do this now. Back it up. Because the tipping comp has been won. It's been done and won. And I almost forgot again. This is how bad I am with this tipping comp this year. Congratulations to Basalenka, who gets the win by mere margin from Big Lance. 9 margin points is all that it was between first and second. And Alex ends up in third place, 1 point behind those guys. It got real towards the end. So congratulations to those guys. They're getting in touch with me. I know Basilink has already been in touch. He wants a Burrow jersey for his first place. Waiting on Brad's brother to wake up so he can have a look at the NFL store and choose something from that I will send him in the States. Otherwise, I'll just get Brad to pick him something. And
he'll end up Steelers jockstrap.
Yeah, I was going to say he'll end up with Cowboys merch.
A shirt that says the Big D.
That's coming to a AGN merch store near you very soon. Alex actually gets to pick from that merch store. I asked him to pick whatever shirt design he would like and let me know his size. We're also running a tipping comp for the playoffs, so keep a lookout on both the socials. I'll get Maddie to put it up on the Linktree as well, Linktree/Aussie Gridiron Network. If you were already in that tipping comp, I have sent you an invite. 44 people have already accepted that invite to the playoff tipping competition. There is a $50 gift card to US Sports HQ up for grabs. One prize and one prize only. Whoever ESPN deems to be the winner at the end of it, number one, is the person that will get it, unless we decide to do something different. But that is what is up for grabs right now. Join that tipping comp, see if you can pick the winners. And of course, as we now know from this last one, your margins matter so much. So it's all about, you got to pick the margin of that game, and lowest score wins. Like golf, basically. It's the margin between, or the difference between the actual game score and the margin that you picked, or the margin game score and then picked. So that adds in there. And the lower the score, the better, or the lower the margin difference, the better. So get into that. You'll find a link on our link tree, I should say, or I'll chuck it up on the socials as well. So thank you very much for listening. Catch you later on the week. G'day Gridiron everywhere. Linktree/Aussie Gridiron Network. See you later.